even though I only do this on Fridays. I forgot it was Friday. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unmuted. We're here with the wonderful Rima. Super excited to have you, Rima.
Wonderful to be here, Paige.
Yeah, I can't believe this is episode 23, I believe.
That's what I read, yeah.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year in September. I think September 5th was our first episode. So almost to the full year. And it's been such a joy. If this is your first time joining, Unmuted is a live video podcast or whatever you'd like to call it that I created to lift up women that I have met in my career journey. I've been doing social impact strategy and coaching, advising work for the past 19 years. And I've met some pretty incredible women along the way. Rima and I were just talking about this, and it got me thinking. I've had my business for, this will be 12 years this year.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's crazy to say that for it to be real. But the past few years, I was thinking, how do I connect? I spent a lot of time connecting people, which I love to do, but it was, thinking deeper on how do I really provide a space for other people to learn about these amazing women that I get to meet. I get to have coffee with or a glass of wine with sometimes. How do other people get to meet them too? And so this podcast was an opportunity to make that happen. So I'm really excited. If you don't know Rima, you're going to learn more about her today. I'm so grateful to have her in my world. We met a little over a year ago, I think now. And it's just been such a joy. If you don't know me, I'm Paige. I guess I should introduce myself. I told you, Rima, I always forget to say things.
You're doing great.
I am the founder of Paige Capacity Builders, which is a social impact consulting, coaching, and advising firm. And yeah, we just have a lot of fun doing strategy work that results in positive impact in communities. So I love what I do. If you're joining us here, let us know you're here. Type in the chat where you're joining from, say hello. We can't see if you're joining unless you tell us you're here. So it's always wonderful to see where people are joining from as well. I'm going to stop talking now and hand it over to you, Rima. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and just let everyone know who you are?
Wonderful. Thank you, Paige. And truly wanted to spend just a second and a minute really to say thank you for your generosity. Thank you for creating such a beautiful community. I've had the pleasure of, watching some past recordings and attending. And so it's just such an honor to be part of this group. And the fact that you just do this because you saw the need, that speaks volumes. And truly, so thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And I'm really happy to be here. To everyone who's joining and to anyone who may be watching later, welcome. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm Rima Eid. I am the founder and CEO of the Mosaic Mindset, which is an executive development firm. I work with entrepreneurs, business leaders, executives, and individuals, really. Anyone who is looking to really transform and really looking to get into that next step and that next level of where they already are at. I truly believe that leadership is not a title that you're handed or given, right? But it's one that you make a choice. And a lot of times the individuals that I work with or the people that I'm in conversation with feel like, well, I'm not a leader. And I'm like, why not? Paige, I think you and I have talked about this before. I'm like, who's not a leader, right? You're a leader in your own space once you choose it, whether you have this title or not. And so the work that I do is working with these individuals and with these groups and with these small businesses to help them excel and already, enlighten what they have within them. So that's what I do.
And she's been doing it for a long time, folks. So if you're looking for someone in that space, or if you know someone that's looking for somebody in that space, reach out to Rima. Now you know she exists. She is a master at her craft, I can tell you, because she is my coach. And I'm so grateful for her and the time that we've already spent together. So, yeah, living testament. Happy to chat with anyone about my experiences too. It's been wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Paige. It's wonderful to work with you under coaching capacities, but also just as an individual. So thank you.
Yes, I know. It really has been wonderful. And ironically enough, we haven't gotten together in person, which we need to make happen because we're geographically close enough to each other to make that happen. So we have to do it.
And we will. It's on the calendar. We'll be
hashtag life, right?
Well, it's what happens, right? With motherhood, with being business owners, with,
Yes.
wanting to meet with our clients and engage. And you are a client and, right, we have it on the calendar. We're doing it. So.
Yep. All right. Well, shall we dive into our questions that I've been asking everybody? It's been a lot of fun doing the same questions. It was a little experiment and I'm keeping it going.
Well, I love experiments.
Yeah. So. This whole thing was an experiment. Me too, because it's like, how do you know things work or don't work or are fun or not fun? I actually got the idea of the 3 questions from a radio show. I'm forgetting the name, maybe called Wild Card.
Okay.
The guest picks at random 3 questions, and the host asks those 3 questions. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, we asked the same 3 questions to all of our guests. Really grounded in leadership and your journey in that space. Because as you've already said, we are all leaders in all spaces of our lives because we're multifaceted beings, multidimensional beings. So it's been really great to have these conversations with folks. Our first question we've been asking everyone is around mindset. So what is a mindset shift that you had that shapes the way you lead today?
What a great question. And I know you didn't ask it because my company's called the Mosaic Mindset, but I truly...
No, I didn't.
But I truly believe in mosaics and mindsets, right? Because we are made of all these beautiful different facets, right? That's the beauty of a mosaic and the tiles that you're able to put together, right? Whether the pieces are a little bit jarred or they're smooth or soft or things like that. And that's what makes that beautiful cohesiveness behind it and who we are today. My biggest shift happened with so many small pieces in life. It wasn't just one, right? It's been something that I've been building towards for a very, very long time. And going back a little bit in time here, I remember when I was in college, one of my mentors, advisors, truly someone who helped shape me kind of from where I am today, was like, Rima, I know you're going into psychology, and I know you're going into this field and you're going to do great, but there's something else down the line for you. Just be open to it. And so that right there was an opening for me to think, oh, I was going to go for my psychology degree. I was going to become a clinical psychologist, and I have my master's and all of these different things, right? That's not really what I did, right? I opened up the mindset of saying, why not me when opportunities came in? Why not me doing something that is so out of my wheelhouse and just trying it out? And so over the years, through the different organizations that I worked in, I was very fortunate that a lot of these organizations already had coaches. I didn't know coaching really existed, or it could be an art form and it could be a career. And when I heard about it, I was like, oh, sign me up, coach. Let me go talk to someone. I like to talk, and I want to, and as a trained psychologist, you're all about practicing and trying and figuring things out and diving deep and all of that. And so I just had many coaches throughout my life, and each one of them, whether they were fantastic coaches or okay coaches, right? There's a gamut of coaches out there in the world, like in any craft that we may have. I always learned something, and it always gave me this opportunity to show up with an abundance mindset. And when I'm using the word abundance, I'm not just saying filling everything, filling my entire cup, looking through rose tinted glasses, that there's only positive. No, everything is a harmony in life. But really, with that ability to just say, hey, let me try something new. Why not me? Why not me go work for an organization that I have absolutely no skill set in? Right, which is what I ended up doing when I went into federal government. I knew nothing about trees and forest service and things like that. And yet I had a 17-year career there, right? And I was like, why not me? Why not me? Let me go learn something. Let me go try. So that's the biggest mindset shift, is being comfortable, being temporarily uncomfortable, and really wanting to grow through that and say, let me give it a try.
I love your analogy connection to the mosaic piece.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something else about harmony.
Mm.
And it's interesting because when you think about like the diversity of experiences
Yeah.
that abundance mindset gave you, is like, you know, a conglomerate or a collaboration of these tiles that are kind of
Mm-hmm.
maybe mismatched or
Yeah.
don't look the same,
Mm-hmm.
that when put together are really in harmony and
Yeah.
making up this beautiful picture that is Rima in this case. But I just love that because the abundance mindset and having that shift to thinking that way, and your point too, it's not, and you're right, it's not about rose tinted glasses or thinking the grass is greener. Those are actually
Mm-hmm.
deficit mindsets.
It can be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's amazing how having that mindset just opens up
Yeah,
for your cup to, it's almost like you take the lid off your cup so that it can be filled.
exactly.
Um, yeah, I love that. So that it's like the allowing the tiles to come together so that there can be glue,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to stick them there.
Yeah. And the why not me idea
Yes.
is really just about, why not? Why not give it a try? Why not experiment with it? You don't
Yeah.
like it, you tried it. Right? Whether you label it as a mistake or a failure, for me it was a learning opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my career, I wore so many different hats that when
Mm-hmm.
you look at it, you're like, she did policy, she did recruitment, she was with Forest Service, she did international development. She, like, everyone's ping-ponging around. And it still made a fantastic opportunity for me now to be able to serve such a wide variety of individuals, and knowing that it's not a linear trajectory, whichever choice you make in terms of your
Mm-hmm.
life, whether it's your business or your personal or your family or whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Love that. All right, our second question.
Mhm.
What is a risk that you took that changed everything for you?
Well, when I launched the Mosaic Mindset, that was a big shift, right? I left a federal career,
Yeah.
uh, and that the idea behind the federal career, it's stable. You have that paycheck, you have your retirement benefits. There is a predictability, and it was not serving me anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
was not able to serve the people that trusted me and entrusted me anymore in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it was time to exit and to say, let me see how else can I help? Let me see
Mm-hmm.
how else I can support the amazing people and communities that we're a part of, right? I do not regret any time that I, gave to the federal government. It was such an amazing experience. And it was also the right time for me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So you may look at that as a risk, I looked at it more as a choice, and one that since I did that, I haven't looked back. And it has been such an opener into wonderful connections and conversations and support of so many people who are still in transition, right? Whether it was by choice or whether it was informed that they had to leave or not by choice or things like that. But being able to free your mind and say, this happened, let's keep going, right? That's really the importance here. So it's the choice factor that you're able to make.
Mm-hmm. What did that change in you? Or did it change anything in you?
For me, I always knew I was going to leave at some point. It was a matter of when. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I would have completed federal service in the traditional sense of retired.
Mm-hmm.
I like to joke that my headshot is just a lot younger now since I got to run my own business earlier. But the mindset shift for me is that, again, going back to this idea of abundance, that anything is possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could have stayed. I was actually asked to stay, and it was not the right fit anymore. It was
Mm-hmm.
not. It was not the right opportunities for me to keep working through the values that I have of being able to support and be in service. Am I still very much a part of the communities and engaging? Of course.
Yeah.
Do I want to keep serving and being of support and helping?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That has not changed.
Yeah.
But what has changed is that now I get to do it through me and through the Mosaic mindset, and in a way that, seeing the results directly and how it impacts my clients, their businesses, their livelihoods, their families, whatever we might be coaching on, or whatever collaborations and teams and organizations I'm working in.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you're closer to it, I
Mhm.
bet, because it's like,
More than ever. More
yeah,
than
yeah.
ever.
That's one of the beautiful things and hard things because there's the business side you're also closer to, which isn't my favorite part. But that's one of the beautiful things about owning a business. And, the other part too is, this was about risk,
Mhm.
but I love how you reframed, risk can be a positive thing, right? And we often associate it in terms of fear or scarcity or
Mhm.
things like that of those mindsets. Um, but I think listening to your intuition and knowing your values, taking a risk allowed you to lean more into who you are and want to be. I love that.
Absolutely. Because for me, the biggest risk would have been to stay.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah.
Not in the traditional sense of people are like, well, you would have had a steady income, you would have had,
Mhm. But you're risking other things.
you're risking other things. You're risking yourself, right?
Right.
I remember there was a moment when I was back in office and none of my teams were based where I am located,
Mhm.
right? Everyone worked remote. And I would just show up to this office because it was required. And I
Yeah,
was sitting by myself in a really big space. And I'm
yeah.
sitting there and I took a picture of myself that day. I'll never forget. I have this picture just as my reminder of like, I can still be there or I can be here. And so the risk is really like, it's not a money factor. It's not always anyway. For some, and of course, those were big decisions we all have to make.
Yeah, yeah.
I am
Real
not
and
negating
big.
that. It's real. It is very real. And sometimes it feels so unsurmountable. You're like, I don't have any choice, right?
Mhm.
But my invitation is there is always a choice. It's just looking at it through a different lens,
Mhm.
really looking at it and saying, okay, what is it? And are you choosing to stay? And for whatever stay is for you, right? Or are you choosing to operate in a certain manner? Or are you choosing to lead in a certain manner, right?
Mhm.
That is still a choice you're making. And so then the question is, okay, what else needs to adjust?
Right.
Or are you choosing to really overhaul and change? I left security, right, to do something that I think is amazing. Maybe not everyone else does, but I do.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Right? And really say, okay, I am choosing to do this. So yeah, the days are hard sometimes, of course, running your own business. There's certain periods that are highs and lows, and you have to
Yeah.
manage that. That's why as a coach, that I have
Yep.
my own coach too. That was my first investment, right? Like you and I are working together, you shared, right? So it's so important to have someone in your corner to
Yes.
really be able to support and really help you through when you are going through those highs and lows, and whatever choice you made, to be able to revisit and saying, is this still my best choice?
Yep. Yeah. I love that. Choices, because we do have them.
We do.
Um, and not letting fear creep in to tell us otherwise. That
Yeah.
happens a lot, especially associated with things that feel risky.
Yeah.
But we always have a choice, or multiple choices. Sometimes it's just difficult to see what they are.
Yeah. And I would invite, even if fear does creep in, let it through.
Mm.
Right? That's the
Mhm.
whole thing about being comfortable while being temporarily uncomfortable,
Mhm.
right? At some point, it might be fear related. I had no idea what I was doing when I started. Now I do, but I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
hope I learn until the end of time of my
Mhm.
time, right? Like that's the whole point, is that you don't stop learning. You don't stop
Yes.
investing in yourself. And you
Yeah.
don't, and even when the fear shows up, which it will, it's how do you work through it? And how
Yeah.
do you acknowledge it and honor it and say, I'm safe and I'm still choosing?
Yep. Yes. I love that. All right. Our last question. What is a lesson in leadership that you have chosen? Speaking about choice, you've chosen to unlearn.
Mm. You've heard me talk about this before, so it won't be new to you. But expectations,
Mm.
right? The idea that leaders set expectations versus agreements,
Mhm.
right? We've talked about this a little bit. The difference between expectations and agreements is, when you set an expectation, you're holding someone towards this standard or this idea or this metric that they may not even know you're doing.
Mhm.
Or it might be formal in an organization with their KPIs and their quarterly reviews and annual reviews and all those kinds of things, right? Or it may be even in your family situation with your
Mhm.
spouse or your child. You expect them, right, to make their
Yeah.
beds every morning or whatever it may be. That doesn't feel great, does it?
Right. No.
Yeah. So that's
It's
one
a
of the
different level of relationship.
exactly. Versus an agreement is you're really engaging in conversation with someone, right? You're really engaging and asking for their agreement on whatever it may be, whether it is, the advancements of goals in the business or in the company, or whether it's with your partner or your family members, right? This agreement is that we're co-creating a space where we are open to the communication, and we're open to this idea that we're going to create something together that says, we are in agreement that we will meet every week and that, we will
Mhm.
have X, Y, or Z. And when an
Mhm.
agreement is not met, our agreement is that we will open up time to have a conversation to see what needs to be adjusted. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's so relevant in leadership
Yeah. The more you let go
in
of the
many senses.
expectations, the more you move into real agreement with people. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. These are all so good, Rima. Really amazing. Um, Yeah, with the agreements piece, I think, I mean, it spans across so many different things. I mean, you talk like
Mhm.
personal, professional, but even within those things, um, I think of my clients even when, you're working through a contract or a scope of work. It's something that you're co-creating
Yeah.
and agreeing to, or even in like strategy work or design sessions, you're
Mhm.
co-creating, everyone's agreeing to that. I think a lot of people wonder, like, well, how do you come to consensus on things as a group or as a team? But when you take that perspective,
Mhm.
um, it creates a really different space for people to show up in a different way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Mhm.
And it
It
really affects a lot of different things.
it does. It takes off this invisible armor that so many of us tend to
Mhm.
put on because we're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a difficult conversation with
Yeah.
my supervisor," right? And I already know that I can expect that they're gonna be disappointed or that
Mhm.
they're going to reprimand or all those different things, right? And the supervisor on the other side might be like, "Oh, this is going to be such a tough conversation. I can already, anticipate and I already expect that this employee is going to be disgruntled and not right." Versus,
Neither of them has any idea.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so when we break that down and we go into true conversation with open mind, right? And with presence, not with the distractions or the nagging, blind spots that we may have that we don't even know
Mhm.
exist yet, right? Because there are blind spots. I don't know what mine are. I don't know what the back of my head looks like right now, right? I can't see it,
Yes.
right? But
Yeah, I
someone
think
else
you're right. The listening to learn, even in
Mhm,
those spaces for that scenario. Um, I'm sure you find this in working with folks, especially like in leadership roles over teams.
mhm.
It's when people are struggling with people, the listening to learn, listening to understand.
Yeah.
It's such a simple and really straightforward concept, but it's something I think because we move so quickly through things and we have these expectations of people.
Mhm,
It's like, but when we pause a little bit and slow things down a little bit, you can really absorb a lot and
mhm.
begin to frame and have a different perspective in the situation.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's one of those things, slowing down is so important, right? Giving
Mhm,
people and yourself, this idea of expectations, even of oneself, right?
mhm,
Especially you and I as business owners, right? At the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I expect that I'm gonna, reach this target and all these things."
right.
When I really started letting go and just
Mhm.
saying my agreement is that I'm showing up every single day,
Right.
service.
Right. Yes. Yeah, yeah, because that's real, that's also
It is
very
real.
real.
We have expectations of ourselves, and it starts with us. All of this work starts with us as individuals,
Yes,
and that's how it grows into the enterprise levels.
yes, yep. I just wanna say, hey, Saeed, and hey, Rebecca. Um,
And
it's
I
good
wanna
to
say
speak with
hi
you.
to T as well, so thank you.
Hi, T. Yeah, welcome. Um, well, this has been really, really wonderful, Rima. I appreciate you so much for sharing your wisdom here in this space. And if you're looking for a coach or an amazing, beautiful, incredible mind, reach out to Rima. Um, you put some content out there too, as well, I believe. So,
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of revamping some of my content, so more to come, and I'll definitely share with you, and we can share with your community, but I'm really here to work with anyone who's ready to make the choice, right? And they're just kind of like trying to figure out
mhm,
what that might be. So whether it's
yes,
individual, whether it's entrepreneur, whether it's a business or leader, let's just talk.
yeah. Um, and just to close us out, uh, if you're a woman in the workspace, We're doing our Unmuted Power Lab next Friday at the same time, but it's an hour long. It's virtual networking, but with deeper connectivity intended. So we've had some really beautiful connections that have continued after the networking space, whether it's people who find they live in the same place or people who want to collaborate together on workshops. So it's been really awesome to hear that. So it's somewhere on LinkedIn, somewhere on my profile. You can find it. You can reach out to me and ask. I'll send it to you. But thank you so much. Have a beautiful afternoon. Have a beautiful weekend. And we'll talk with you soon. Thanks, Rima.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.